Marcus, I've always admired chefs who can turn ordinary dishes into extraordinary works of art.
Well, great minds think alike. I happen to know one person who has that special ability. She always enjoys playing with multitude of colors, textures, flavors, and even perceptions. Her unconventional artworks constantly evolve depending on interactions with different people, and she's also one of the guests on MasterChef Australia Season 7. Well, do you think you want to meet her?
I sure do.
I thought so.
Dubbed Asia's dessert queen, Janice Wong's never-ending passion for culinary art has propelled her forward to test the limits of dessert making.
The native Singaporean has learned from some of the world's best chefs, including Thomas Keller and Pierre Hermé.
Recently named Asia's best pastry chef, she also won a title of Pastry Chef of the Year from the World Gourmet Summit Awards.
So the philosophy is really simple. I mean, for me, I've always started out since 2007, with the philosophy of the balance of flavor, texture, temperature, and aesthetics. Flavor being the number one. For me, flavor is so important because it really touches the memory of taste. I want people to remember really awesome flavors of passion fruit with popcorn. And when they think of this, they want to come back.
No longer just a pastry chef, Janice has ventured into savory cooking as well. One of her signature dishes is this one featuring everything from beneath the ground.
There's an ensemble of earthy flavors, from the mushroom truffle puree, the shimeji, as well as the sweet potato chips. Each component is a perfect match with one another.
Up next, a classic tomato salad made interesting. Prepared using some of the freshest seasonal ingredients, the base of this dish is a tomato consomme topped with fresh tomatoes.
Pickled cucumber, milk curd, compressed melon, as well as droplets of pumpkin seed oil are also added to accentuate the flavor.
So, we've been doing sweet creations for the last 10 years, and really developing so many signature desserts over the last 10 years. Now when it comes to savory, there are very high expectations as well. I love to play. I love to play on all the ingredients. I love to play with mushrooms, foie gras, beef. So this is a lot of play. There's a lot of play, there's a lot of art. The synergy between the sweet and the savory is there between art, food, fashion, and design.
First sous vide with herbs and then seared, this duck breast entree is pretty unique. Resting at the bottom is a bed of corn and Japanese glutinous barley, which is marinated in miso and soy sauce. And on top sits a foie gras tuile. The Australian wagyu here is slow cooked, and on the side sits some carrots which are sous vide in beets and miso cured and charred potatoes.
Now what's mind-blowing about this dish is that it's garnished with mushroom paper, with Janice's favorite poetry on it. Just by looking at it, the dish is already very appetizing and striking.
You know what, Louisa? I think main course is the most principal part of a meal, and you can always tell how good the chef is from it too.
Marcus, I don't think you can be so sure, because the last course that we're going to indulge in will surely change your mind.
And for the main event, here comes the part that you've all been waiting for. It's time to indulge in the sweet creations prepared by none other than Janice Wong herself.
So this dessert is actually inspired by springtime in Japan. So when I'm drawing, it's like hanami. So basically, I was very inspired by spring, and I needed to create a dessert actually for one of the events. For Hong Kong, we do cassis pastels. This is something very familiar to your childhood.
Wow. Have you always been artistic since you were a little girl?
I don't know. I think when you're young, you don't know whether you're artistic or not. You just have a lot of freedom. The other one is women. Women really inspire me a lot. So with 80% of women, they don't want to get fat. They want, they want, to have it very delicate,
Pretty.
delicious, pretty, but no cream, less sugar, no butter. So this entire dessert, as you can see, the only part of the sugar is in the pastels. So you can really see the pastels is this tree here, and that's a little tiny bit of sugar.
It looks very fresh and light.
Where do you get the inspiration from?
It's mostly travel, the seasons, ingredients. I think when I receive an ingredient, I'm like, oh my god, it's so delicious. I definitely want to use it, you know, and then create with it.
Yep.
So that's where I get my inspiration from.
So Marcus, what do you think?
Well, I have to agree with you that main course doesn't have to be the principal part of a meal, and the right dessert can easily steal the spotlight.